Welcome everyone to the NoDQ.com live predictions video for WWE Crown Jewel 2025 in Perth, Australia. It will be airing Saturday morning in the United States, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific Time, very early for the West Coast people. Now, show of hands, people in this panel, who will be watching this live at 8 a.m. Eastern? Only half. Well, 4. Oscar's not watching at 8 a.m. Why, Oscar? Why are you not watching?
It's a Saturday morning. I'm sleeping.
Oh, there you go. You are not dedicated enough to watch John Cena versus AJ Styles for the last time live.
I may wake up before that match is on. So if I wake up, well, I know I will wake up, hopefully. But if I wake up in time and catch it, great. If not, I'll watch your review and then I'll watch it later. So it's a Saturday morning.
So I take it you're not going to go very high with your excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10. What would it be?
Probably a 6-ish. I am excited for Cena AJ. I really am, but that's really much the only match I'm really excited for.
I mean, I'm surprised
you all the matches.
Yeah,
but honestly, just really not. It's just I was hoping for more matches. We got what, 5? I was thinking maybe there was going to be 7, but it's Triple H's show now, so I'm at a 6.
If you're not watching live, it should be like a 4.
Yeah, but the excitement of Cena AJ pumps it up to the 6. So I'm a 6 out of 10.
Well, Gino, Matthew, Dave, I expect you guys to go higher than a 6 since you are going to be watching it live. So, Gino, Mean Gino, I'll throw it over to you now. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10?
Okay, so I respect his thoughts, hoping that there may be more matches. Who knows? We still have a SmackDown. Sometimes they do add matches late. However, for me, an 8 a.m. Saturday morning premium live event's like akin to Christmas morning. I am very excited. Am I super excited for the premise of the show? Not really. But 8 a.m., wake up, get some breakfast cooked, watching wrestling, like that's the dream. And I think I'm going to be an 8 out of 10 excitement just for the external types of factors, like when it's going to be on, obviously John Cena and AJ Styles match. And I want to see how they treat champion versus champion matches. And hopefully the champions come out looking strong, even in defeat.
Thank you for that, Gino. This guy, I'll throw it over to you next. 1 to 10. How excited are you for this show?
Well, I will. I'm about same 6. So I actually do get up dumb early every day, Monday through or Sunday through Saturday, whatever. I get up or between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. like every day. Sundays maybe a little bit later, like 5 to 6 a.m. So it's not gonna be no like sweat on me to actually enjoy this. What is a sweat on me to enjoy this is $30 just to watch it. That's why I want to be watching it live. I did some overtime last week, the last few weeks, so I have a little bit of extra money, but that all goes to bills, so I may not even watch it. If you guys can inform me of a good VPN so I can follow Lord Stephanie McMahon's way of watching it for a cheaper price, just comment me or email me it, and I'll try to check it out. But yeah, like a 6 because I can't really watch it. I haven't been able to watch the last couple because of that very reason. But the matches look stacked. It's just unfortunately they moved it from Peacock, and yeah, it priced me out unfortunately. But wow. I still love talking about wrestling. It's just I'm priced out.
Fair enough. All right, Dave, I'm going to throw it over to you next. How do you feel about what this guy said, and how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10 for this show? Go ahead.
I'm at about 7.5, I think, right now. And I want to see the things that I really kind of want to see is if there's anything post-match and anything. I think that might bring Mean Gino out next Tuesday, depending on if there's any kind of extracurricular activity at any of these matches. But about 7.5, I think.
All right. Fair enough. Matthew, I'll go over to you now. Perth, Australia should be an amazing crowd, right? What are your thoughts on this premium live event down under?
Overall, I mean, I kind of wish it wasn't called Crown Jewel because we associate Crown Jewel now pretty much with the Saudi shows. But overall, I'm about 8 out of 10. I'm looking forward to, I think the three biggest matches is going to be, beating up John Cena, Tiffany versus Stephanie, and then for me, the whole Rhea EO versus Kabuki Warriors match. And I think this hopefully will make up for WrestlePalooza because we all had our high hopes for WrestlePalooza and that turned into a average show with, one fantastic match and a couple fairly decent ones. But I think this will do a lot better overall. And my sleep pattern's been screwed up for weeks now, so I'll probably be up at 8 o'clock in the morning anyways, whether I want to be or not. But yeah, it should be a good time.
I'm going 7 out of 10. Not my most anticipated PLE of the year, but Perth, Australia should be a fun vibe. I'm not that big into the champion versus champion matches. AJ Styles, John Cena will have a great match, although I feel like the results for almost every match on this show are very obvious. So it'll be interesting to see if we disagree on anything. For the most part, maybe we'll have one or two people disagree on something, but I'm curious as to how these predictions will go. Now, upper right-hand corner of the screen, that QR code will take you to a VPN page that you can use if you want to watch WWE shows like SmackDown. SmackDown is going to be at 8 a.m. Eastern time. It will be in Australia. You can watch it on Netflix if you have a VPN. So use that QR code upper right corner to get that VPN access if you haven't already, of course. All right.
Which VPN is that for, Aaron?
You have to go on the QR code and check out.
Scan the code.
Scan the code. It's a mystery. All right. Let's get to the matches for WWE Crown Jewel 2025. We will start with what many think is a dream match one more time. Like we've seen the match before, but it was a dream match in the sense of people wanted to see it on John Cena's retirement tour. And some people thought it was a dream because there were other people that were being considered and maybe AJ Styles wasn't in the plans. But here we are. John Cena versus AJ Styles. No real storyline other than they have the history and they're going to go out there and have the best match possible. Should be really fun. I think the crowd heat will be really strong for this one. But I don't see John Cena losing, especially after he lost to Brock Lesnar. AJ Styles has kind of been booked as a mid-level guy as of late, not main event tier. So yeah, John Cena will win. Should be a really fun match, though. Should just be a classic. They're going to do lots of fun stuff in the match, and I think it will be one of the better matches of the John Cena retirement tour. I mean, at the very least, I think it'll be the third best after the Cody Rhodes match and Logan Paul, and it may surpass Logan Paul. We'll see what happens, but I expect it to be a really strong match. This guy, I'll go over to you now. What's your prediction for this one? Don't forget to unmute.
I've done this before. I've actually done this before. So Cody, it's pretty obvious. Or no. I'm leaning more so obvious. So we have Cody winning last year, which still is really annoying because it should have been Gunther, even though Gunther was the world champion. Whatever. Anyway, so it's pretty obvious this time that they need the heel to win. We had that tease from Paul Heyman.
Are you on the right match?
Am I?
We're talking John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Oh, dang. Wow, I'm way ahead. I'm looking at the matches at the same time. Sorry. Okay, so let me take back what I was saying. Yeah, horrible.
Quote Noah Frost.
We're live, pal.
baby.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, AJ, this one is actually more of a difficult match. So you have John Cena, big match. John, as Michael Cole always calls him, never say die, whatever. And he lost against Brock last month, beginning of this month. So when was the WrestlePalooza? It was like
September 20th.
right?
Yeah, last month. Yeah.
Okay. So he lost decisively because I was watching Aaron's review of that weirdly named pay-per-view. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch it myself, like I said. So he needs his bounce back. He needs to get back his momentum. Unfortunately, AJ seems like the guy to be the guy that gives him his momentum. I was trying to look up before we started, like how many, what's their match record. I think they have like 3 or 4 matches against each other, and I think AJ is up by like 1. If that's
they're
true.
They're 2-2, I think, right?
Are they?
Yeah, this is the rubber match.
That's terrible. So yeah, I would be shocked if AJ pulls this out, but it's pretty much going to be Cena because this is his second to last match ever, right? So it has to be Cena, unfortunately. Now will we get a tease at the end of the match of who he's going against? Depends on where the match falls in the card. Is it going to be a heel for his last match? I don't know, but I feel like AJ deserves this victory because he's been taking L's all day, but it's going to be Cena all day, unfortunately.
All right, that's 2 for John Cena. I'm going with John Cena as well. Oofman, we'll go over to you next. Do you agree that John Cena will pick up a win after his loss to Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, the way he was beat against Brock Lesnar definitely is all arrows are pointing for the Cena win. What's disappointing about this is, like everybody's saying, we were talking earlier and how you introduced it, Aaron, it's a dream match from an original dream match of Cena and AJ, but unfortunately, due to Cena's restricted scheduling, we never really got to see them face to face. It was all, I believe, done on Twitter, I think. First AJ or either AJ or Cena first called the other person out. And then Papa H comes in saying, fine, wrestle at Crown Jewel. And unfortunately, we couldn't see Cena and AJ in the ring. Again, there was really no hype the way they started promoting the match. So it wasn't oh, I challenge you or blah, blah, blah. But like I said, I do believe they are 2-2 in their matchup. And again, this being the rubber match. And like we said, since Lesnar did destroy Cena before, Cena just gets his win back. And where, again, just like this guy said, where in the card will this match go? I can't see it going in the main event because I just, with the way, which I'm pretty sure the men's, the double champion match will be, they love their pyro and the winner will get their shower of pyro behind them. So maybe this goes in the middle of the card. And like this guy says, maybe what I'll be watching for is, will something happen after the match? But praying to God that I don't think Lesnar is going to show up to attack Cena again because it's like, but Cena wins. Moving on to Survivor Series.
All right, Dave, do you agree with that take? We'll go to you next.
Boy, they're both Oofman and this guy Experience had what I was thinking about the end of the match because they have to set, with only a few matches left, they have to set something up. I think with him not being on TV very much. But what I think is regarding the match, it may not make us forget Brock Lesnar last month, but I think it's going to make the memory a lot farther away because I think this is going to be a great match. I think, Aaron, you're right. I think this is going to be at least one of the top 3 matches since he started this run. If not, maybe in the top 2. Because AJ is going to bring him to a great match because even at AJ's age, he still moves like a cat out there. And he's one of the best in the business. And but I think Cena's going to win. He's got to have the bounce back now. I think he's going to be winning until possibly that last match, depending who he's going to face. But I take Cena in this one.
All right, there you go. 4 for Cena. And shout out to this guy who threw in a $2 super chat. Thanks. This guy says, fireworks on vacation last week, so let's hope. I agree with that. Gina, we'll go to you next. What are your thoughts on this match?
So It's nice to see AJ Styles fly to Australia, not for a run-in, but for an actual match. I want to say that first. AJ Styles, when these types of matches were done at Survivor Series, we'll get to the champion versus champion. He actually had a match against Brock Lesnar, and then AJ Styles had a not-so-great match against Logan Paul at WrestleMania, and Logan Paul had a great match against Cena. So I fully expect this match to be surpassing that to the best of their ability. It's going to be a fun match. AJ Styles is playing up the beat-up John Cena, which is exactly what I wanted to see. Too bad we didn't get much more of that because he's still in his storyline with the other guys and the three-man stuff and those things like you mentioned at the top. So he's kind of been upper mid-card booked so far, but and to the point where I had forgotten he was WWE champion, and then they showed that promo, which I thought was a fantastic promo with the video package that they did, really playing up their history together. But at the end of the day, it's going to be John Cena. He's going to have to be looking stronger towards the end of his run here. AJ Styles isn't going to lose any momentum with a loss to Cena. They're really touting this as the fans wanted it, so we're giving it to you. And I think that takes a lot of the heat off of an AJ loss for him, as if he sought out Cena. So I think Cena's going to win. It's going to be reverse finish. They're going to be doing one of my things in wrestling where they use each other's finishers against each other, circa Stone Cold Rock WrestleMania 17. I expect this to be one of the most enjoyable matches we've had from Cena, which is odd because in the end of his career, he's giving us these banger matches that are better than some of his earlier matches. So odd, but also really enjoyable, worth waking up for. Cena wins.
Yeah, I mean, I could see AJ doing the attitude adjustment and Cena does the Styles Clash. I think we'll see a lot of that. Matthew, we'll go over to you now, and then we'll go to the next match.
I mean, everybody pretty much has said a lot of what I think. Of course, they're also pushing this will be Cena's 100th win. So that's another big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like Gino said, the fact that they're doing it as, oh, well, the fans willed this kind of does lessen the blow of AJ losing. I just hope it's a clean match. My worry is we could get something like the El Grande showing up and interfering or something. And I kind of hope that doesn't happen. I hope this is a clean one-on-one between the face that ran TNA versus the face that ran WWE at the time. Two of the best ever having one last big final match. And like everybody said, this could probably be top 2 or even top 3 of Cena's last matches. And I'm kind of curious, what other moves could Cena and AJ both pull out from their repertoire, paying homage to Christopher Daniels, maybe Samoa Joe, Abyss, maybe The Miz, who else could both wrestlers pay homage to in this match? Because that was one of the coolest things about the Logan Paul match, was seeing Cena doing, the spear, doing the angel wing, and all these other moves from people he's either faced in OVW or in the past, or just paying homage to people that he respects in the business. And this is probably going to be match of the night if it's not the women's tag match.
All right. This guy, any last words?
Matthew, I doubt it. I highly doubt they'll have some screwy finish because this is seen as like a home show. If he was heel, yeah, expect that. But he's now facing it again, and it's not going to happen. And then the second thing I want to mention, I think someone asked this like a couple months ago. Do you think it's possible that Cena may extend his run for Royal Rumble, just for Royal Rumble, so he can a complete 360, or just like absolutely no?
Gino, go ahead.
I just want to say I did see a theory out there. I know we weren't going to mention the person's name, but with the performance of his recent movie, what if at the last match you know who comes back if you smell, and he says you're done when I say you're done, and we get at least another. And he retired, and Cena retires at WrestleMania, which I feel like is a lot more fitting than Saturday night's main event in DC. But the fans in DC will be very upset that their ticket price is so high. But if The Rock comes out and does that, I don't think you could be too upset at that you didn't get your money's worth. So
yeah,
I don't expect it though.
Probably not, but never say never. All right, we're going to move on to the next match. I think the tag match was brought up a moment ago, so we'll go ahead and discuss that now. We got the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, going up against Io Sky and Australia's own Rhea Bloody Ripley. All right, Matthew, I'm going to go to you first on this one. It's Rhea's home country, so does that influence your prediction? Go ahead.
I mean, the baby faces have been pretty much getting humiliated the last couple weeks, so yeah, they're going to have to go over. You know, it's not going to hurt Asuka. Asuka's probably doing some of the best work of her career right now, and you can tell that she's absolutely loving it, especially between her character acting in the ring and her trolling on Facebook, on Twitter. And I think the big thing is it's going to eventually probably lead to Kairi breaking free, but that will be down the road. But yeah, baby faces are going to win. Australia's going to get a big pop because they're going to get a Rhea win. Io's going to get a big pop. And this is just going to be a great match between four of the best women in the WWE. And to me, this is, besides the AJ match, this is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Rhea's team will win. Kairi will likely take the loss in this one, and then Asuka will yell at her some more. We can get more yelling from Asuka. Gino, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we got two different hometown, or favorite people. You got Bronson, and then you got Rhea, kind of both being from Australia. So I don't expect kind of both of them to win. Maybe not. Who knows? But like you said, though, Matthew, Asuka's been doing some of the best work of her career. I wouldn't put it past WWE to have them go over Rhea and Io, but traditional classic booking tells us that all the build up to this, with them having had their butts handed to them leading up to this event, that it's probably more likely than not that Rhea and Io get the win. Now, I'm not sure if we're doing a bonus point on this, but I do expect Kairi to take the fall to continue that Asuka mobster, mad at her goon type of situation. That crowd sign from Raw is one of the most creative, well-drawn crowd signs you're ever going to see. And I really just want more of that. And I think that if they're happy, they're not going to do that. So I think that Asuka and Kairi lose, and I think Rhea is going to do the mommy pin on Kairi, get a big pop. You know how that's going to go. So Rhea and Io, and the betting odds are pretty high in that regard too.
All right, Dave, I'll go to you next. Do you agree with the panel so far?
Well, yes, and I'm close to what Gino's thinking, but I'm thinking it a little bit different. I definitely think Rhea's winning this match. Well, they're winning for her and Io. But I think she's going to pin Asuka. And I think it's going to be due to miscommunication with her and Kairi. And it's going to lead to maybe a singles feud between Rhea and Asuka after this. I think, but I think there will be I'm not sure about a breakup between Kairi and Asuka, or if some stories in the past got that Kairi will turn full heel too yet. But I think it's going to be Rhea pinning Asuka.
All right, there you go. Oofman, do you agree with that take? But before we get to you, Oof, real quick, Caleb Jacobs sent in a $2.34 super chat. Shout out to Caleb Jacobs. Says John Cena needs to be IC champion in his final match. Well, he could win it at the Raw in Madison Square Garden or the Raw in Boston, but some might argue it's too little, too late, and who knows if he's even going to wrestle on those shows. Oof, what do you think about John Cena being IC champ? And then you can give your prediction. Go ahead.
No, I don't. There's no reason for it. Like you said, his limited dates are shrinking as time goes on. The only story that makes sense of the chasing for the IC title is Sheamus. Maybe at WrestleMania next year. We were hoping it would happen this WrestleMania, but no, Cena doesn't need a title. He doesn't need to win the title to put somebody over. No, let's just focus on his retirement in December. And like I said, the story is more Sheamus chasing to be the ultimate Grand Slam champion with the IC title. He's shown passion for it before. Cena, I don't think I've ever heard him mention the IC title ever in his entire career. Gino can back me up on that because he was U.S. champion. He had a great U.S. champion open challenge. Cool, but it was never a like, oh, gotta put the IC on Cena. So sorry, Caleb. No, I don't think Cena needs the title, nor does he need to lose the title to someone to put him over. Everyone was maybe predicting it'd be Dom versus him for his final match, and Cena somehow walks in as the IC champion and Dom pins him again. No, but no title needed. As far as the tag match, I agree with everybody. But my prediction is I don't think Rhea is going to get the pin win. I think Io is going to pin Kairi, and that's where Asuka will do her craziness again, which will lead to eventually, again, it's early prediction, but maybe at WrestleMania we get Kairi versus Asuka. I like that match is going to bound to happen because one of these days she's going to just snap and go crazy on Asuka, and the build is going to be there. But like David said, maybe we see Io versus Asuka first, or maybe Rhea and Asuka. Because Asuka, like we said earlier, she's been putting in the work. I freaking adore her. Her YouTube channel is freaking great. One of my favorite videos is she was eating snacks from Mexico. Just her trying to pronounce the snacks in Spanish was just hilarious. Asuka's great. She's a national treasure. We must protect her at all costs. And I think, I think Matthew said it. This might be probably the second match of the night. The anticipation is growing. And yes, even though Rhea is home, I'm going to go with Io pins Kairi, though. I think Asuka will go for the miss, but she'll nail Kairi with it, and that's when Io gets the pin, and then it'll be a celebration for Rhea in her home country. But I'm going to go with more to extend the storyline that Io actually pins. If we're doing bonus points, Io pins Kairi, Asuka goes insane, but Rhea gets her time in the ring again. Pyro, they have the pyro budget. She'll be celebrated obviously in her hometown, in her home country, that is. So yeah, Rhea and Io get the win.
That's a good point about the mist. I could see Kairi accidentally getting misted by Io in this match, or by Asuka, I should say. We'll probably see that. That'll be a fun moment. Now, this guy, Heather, sent in a $5 super chat, says, not related to the prediction, but any tips for making a Bianca Belair costume for a 7-year-old? Well, I am not the person you should be going to for advice on how to make costumes. I know absolutely zero about fashion. Gino, you got any tips? You a fashion expert?
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. I'm not a fashion expert by any means, but when it comes to Bianca Belair, she's got her one defining characteristic besides being a badass and one of the best women's wrestlers they have, and that's her extremely long ponytail and the red lips, which are on her Titantron. So I would do red lipstick, and I would do whatever you could do to get long black ponytail, braided, not ponytail. And, you can kind of fill in the blank from there. I think people will know who she is if they know
maybe you can get the hair at like Amazon or something. Search for like a long braid or something that you can use as a hair extension.
WWE Shop doesn't sell the braid? I mean, I don't know.
Smart.
That's not
knowledge.
Like a hair clip that just
like a hair clip or like a little like a beanie.
But there might be like a prop that you can get on Amazon if you search. I mean, you could try that. But anyways, go ahead, this guy.
So I mean, well, Aaron cleared through it. My wife was asking that question because our daughter wants to be Bianca for Halloween. That's her favorite wrestler. My little sister bought her a Bianca action figure a couple of years ago, but I mean, children lose stuff all the time, so I don't know where it went. But anyway, let me start by showing you my shirt in reference to what you can even see.
Oh,
Sorry, my dad bod.
Too much showing us.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
sorry. But
His birthday's today, right?
Eddie's
Eddie's birthday was today, right? Or yesterday?
Was it? No. Well, I know it's in October. But I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, one or the other. Google.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's my nope. That's not my pick. I was just joking. So, because it's a reference to mommy. So, well, this is where it came from. Like we already know the whole storyline. But anyway, I'm actually gonna go the opposite way of all you guys. I actually feel like Asuka and Kairi actually need this win. Even though Triple H has been booking for like the last 2 years or whatever, I think give or take a year and a half, he still does the same mannerisms and similar booking as Vince did. And since this is Rhea's home country, I think she's gonna lose. Especially she's a babyface, and usually babyfaces lose it in their own home countries or home court advantage. So I believe that I'm not sure if Rhea or I don't know who's going to eat the pin, but it's going to be Asuka and Kairi with the W at the end of this. They need this win to make themselves like more credible. I know they've been like getting over on my birthday twin, and I'm like blinking here. Not Rhea. Damn it. Io. She's been getting over on Io for the last 2-3 weeks, ever since that whole split happened. But ultimately, in order to make a good babyface, you need great heels, and we need Asuka to become more and more powerful and more dangerous. So she needs this victory. It would make more sense for Kairi to slip up and get misted, but if you're gonna make it credible, then they really need this victory. And also, do they even have a T-shirt with Asuka saying Kairi like that? Like you said earlier, Gino, like that board with that was fantastic. And I was ever since Asuka's been doing that for the last few weeks, I'm like, how do you turn that into a shirt? Like I would love a T-shirt where Asuka.
They should make a shirt out of that guy's design and give him a cut of the T-shirt sales.
Yeah,
TKO's not going to be giving anybody no cut. They don't even want to give the wrestlers a cut of their own merch.
Very true.
What they could do is Asuka front like this, and then Kairi like in the distance, like with her back kind of turned, and like she could be screaming, and then it's like her like Kairi like begrudgingly like starting to walk towards or something like that.
Gino, they're not going to give you money for that either. I'm sorry.
Dang it! I was trying to backdoor it.
But yeah, I'm going with Asuka and Kairi for the victory.
Okay, so 2 things before we move on to the next match. So you're going with Asuka and Kairi? So you're the one person to be out then, right? Wow.
I don't hate it.
There you go. So we disagreed on something. Okay, 2 things. First of all, City by the Bay, Rhea has been in Australia. That's why she didn't help out on Raw. The announcers did bring that up. Mm-hmm. And also, if you do a search on Amazon, hair braid, ponytail, extension, or, that combination of words, there are several results in here. I'm seeing long hair braid that you can use as a ponytail, as like an extension clip. You can just use that for the costume. And they're it looks like they range from $8 to $15. So shouldn't set you back too much. All right. Of course,
I was gonna say if they want to do an Asuka Kairi shirt, just have Asuka make it. Asuka has a graphics design degree. She does her own artwork. Let her make the. If they're not gonna use that sign, let Asuka make it, and it would be great to see Kairi. Which apparently I saw on Twitter. Either Asuka did it or Kairi did it. They actually changed her name to Kairi with a bunch of eyes at the end. So nice. they're going full on this gimmick, I love it.
Yeah, but fanatics will still want their cut from the shirt sales, probably. So
probably, yeah. Gino said it best. TKO wants as much money as possible.
Uthman's right. Asuka's a treasure.
All right, guys, let's move to the next match. We got our Australian street fight. The tribal chief Roman Reigns one more time with big Bronson Reed. Now, this is in Bronson Reed's home country. However, I don't think it's going to be the same result as Rhea Ripley's match. But let's go ahead and get everyone's thoughts on this. We've seen these guys go at it over the past few months. Bronson Reed did lose at WrestlePalooza, but it is Roman Reigns we're talking about after all. So, having said that, Dave, I'll go to you first on this one. How do you see this Australian street fight playing out?
Well, I'm glad you went to me first because I'm going to disagree. I think not only it's in Australia, but I think Bronson needs this win. If they really want to push him, he's got to beat Roman. I don't know if it'll be clean, but I think he is going over.
All right. And by the way,
I'll make it short and sweet.
I botched. I said WrestlePalooza was actually Clash in Paris. That's how unremarkable WrestlePalooza was, that I just blend the shows together. I'll go to Matthew next on this one. He's going with Bronson Reed. I'm going with Roman Reigns. I do not bet against Roman Reigns unless it's like WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble or something. So as much as it would be cool for Bronson to get his win, I think Roman Reigns beating him and then is moving on. You know, he's trying to get to Roman's trying to get to Seth Rollins. So he's got to get through Bronson Reed. Then he's got to go through Braun Breaker. And then eventually he gets to Seth Rollins. So this is Roman's climb to Seth Rollins. I don't see him losing this one. Matthew, what do you think?
I mean, I have to agree with you. I mean,
I just have to be different.
I'm glad Bronson Reed is finally getting this match. You know, he missed the last time they were in Perth because, well, him and his wife were having a baby, so it was a good excuse. But, you know, he's deserved it. He apparently just signed a new contract, so WWE sees things in him. But, yeah, Roman can't just disappear and then lose again. So Roman's got to win. And, you know, people want the money match of Roman and Braun Breaker, which I don't know if that's going to be Survivor Series. I don't know if that's going to be the Rumble. I originally thought maybe that would be Mania, but I don't think they're going to stretch it out that long, especially with the rumors that, you know, we could have Roman and Seth at Mania. But yeah, I just don't see Roman losing again. Braun's probably going to get involved, but Roman's probably going to get help from Jimmy and Little Roman. But yeah, I see Roman winning this one because, you know, like you said, it's very hard to vote against Roman in most matches. And, you know, he just came back for the 100th time. And hopefully this time he's going to be here hopefully he's here till Mania. We don't see him disappear again for a while. But yeah, Roman gets the first big win since his return.
All right, there you have it. Oof, do you agree with that take? Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Roman gets the win. The only thing I'm disappointed in this match is when they said the Australian street fight. Like, what does that actually even mean? I mean, we're gonna see the chairs, the tables, Slim Jim tables. We'll see probably the Slim Jim ladder. We'll see the kendo sticks. What says Australia in that? Unless, I don't know, where they throw a koala at each other. I don't know. Like, what is an Australian street fight? They're just gonna go all over the ringside. I'm sure Roman's gonna do a spear through the timekeeper's area. Someone's gonna go through probably the Spanish announce table. So, all right, the match is gonna happen between them. Cool, but when they said Australian street fight, it's like, oh, again, what is an Australian street fight different from a Chicago street fight, New York street fight? Is Russo coming back and putting something on a pole, bro? Like, that's the only thing disappointing of this match. It was just that, where it's a street fight and it's just like lame sauce. But like everybody's saying, it's really hard to bet against Roman. Like Matthew said, I don't see Roman leaving again. I think he's done. Street Fighter is officially done with him, so they're not going to do a stretcher job again. That's what I was hoping for. Like, maybe they'll announce it as a stretcher match. At least that would make sense. Because Roman was stretchered last time, a couple matches ago. So, like, all right, stretcher match. But no, Australian street fight. But like you said, Aaron, it's hard to bet against Roman at all times, not just at Mania or the big shows. It's just a hard time. But now with Street Fighter done, and like Matthew said, hopefully he does stick around at least till Mania. So Roman gets the W. Should still be an entertaining match, but Roman gets the dub.
I think they should have done like the ambulance match or something. It's a fun vibe, you know, having that they throw each other on the truck and then they end up fighting on top of it and throwing each other off and that sort of thing.
At least it would be different. Like, all right,
Yeah.
like I said, ambulance match or a stretcher match, it's different. But once they said Australian street fight, it's like, again, what does that mean? Unless like, is the dingo gonna eat the baby? I'm thinking Simpsons there. So like, what does that
They
mean?
can have a kangaroo do a run in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the
boxing with Bronson Reed.
will the frogs be let go in Australia like the Simpsons did it? Like, I don't know, but whatever.
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did it. So yeah.
All right, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, what you guys have been mentioning, and the thing is, I thought it was going to be either an ambulance or street or a stretcher match because Paul Heyman kept dropping the words every it seems like every sentence on his promo. And it's like, okay, they're going to make this a little more interesting because, Oofman, I totally agree. It doesn't matter what the street fight's called, it's still the same match. And an ambulance or a stretcher match would have been a totally different match than they've done in a while. They haven't I don't know when the last ambulance match was. The last one I remember it was Randy Orton against I think wasn't it Drew McIntyre during the pandemic?
I was just thinking
where everybody got involved
too. Yeah.
And that match there was some type. Oh, that's all I wanted to say, but I definitely agree with you guys about that.
All right, this guy, we'll throw it over to you next, and then Gino.
I'm glad I'm not the only one in these two subjects. One, Dave, you're not the only one. I'm going for big, not small, not medium, big Bronson Reed.
Whoa.
Yeah, because one, it was going back to the previous match, the tag match. I said baby faces usually don't get the W no matter who's booking, Triple H or Vince. They don't usually get the booking. I think the only time they really did was Miss Code Red a few years ago in Puerto Rico. That's pretty much the only time. Like it's extremely rare. You can probably count on two hands in the entire WWF, the entire existence of that entire company exists. You can probably count on two hands that the babyface has won in their home turf. That being said, heels on the other hand, that's kind of a different story. So I'm going with Bronson on this. He needs it. I would be singing a different tune if they did this the smart way back in Clash at the Castle. I think Bronson should have won that match, then put Roman out for whatever. I don't even care. Like, no offense, Virtue. I don't care if he needs to take as much time off as possible. Cool, that's fine. We'll miss him more, but taking him off for four or 5 weeks, bringing him back 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, bringing him back, that's a waste of time. He should have won, and now I think they're going to have just a 3-match. Bronson's going to get this win of a stupid Australian light street fight, which, yeah, Aaron kind of stole my joke. I was going to say the kangaroo, like, doing a run-in, or, like, it's not going to be Braun Breaker. Yeah, it's, dang, too bad Roman didn't do a Tuck-in movie, because what's the, is it Joey, is the kangaroo from Tuck-in, I think, is it? It's been a minute since I played Tuck-in, but it would have been so great. But anyway, yeah, it's I think Bronson's gonna win this dumb match, which definitely, I agree with everybody, should have been either EMT or a stretcher match because they've been dropping so much hints. And then they said, guess what, guys? It's not gonna be that match you thought it was. Yeah, go get out of here. But yeah, it has to be Bronson for this victory, and then maybe in a few weeks, either on Raw or whatever, they're gonna have the rubber match, and Roman's gonna get his victory, and then they're gonna go and win. Roman can finally get past Bronson, but Bronson needs this more than Roman. He needs to be built up more. If he's the future of WWE, he needs his victory. Losing the last match for a 3-match thing, it's fine, but he needs at least one in his feud.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And I'm a little surprised that you're not listening to what I say. It's hard to bet against Roman. Don't do it. What are you thinking, man? Gino, please tell me you have some sense here and you're not going to go against Roman, because it always backfires on people when they bet against Roman. 9 times out of 10.
You are absolutely right, Aaron. You really can't bet against Roman Reigns. But there have been other people on this panel that are right as well. First thing being, Roman should have lost to Reed the last match and where he got stretchered out. But, I knew they were going to write him off TV. And they did that thing. I will say this, though. If it was a stretcher match, does anybody think that Roman's not winning that stretcher match after he was on the stretcher a few weeks back, right? So I think that they're doing this street fight to potentially have Bronson Reed be more predictable that he could win. We're gonna get some I don't know what the Australian word for shenanigans is, but we're definitely gonna get some shenanigans in what is essentially a no DQ match, because I don't understand the difference between no DQ and a street fight. One of these times false count anywhere needs to be thrown into that, because I do love the aspect of that. I don't think we're going to get that, but it seems like whatever city, whatever town, whatever country they're in, they're naming the street fight after that. You got your Chicago street fight, your Brooklyn street fight, your Donnybrook street fight, your all these things. So I'm sure there's going to be some Aussie type of things going on. Maybe I don't know. I'm not that caught up on Australian culture. Somebody mentioned Vegemite in the chat. I think that anything involving Roman and something being poured out, we need to distance ourselves from that dog food incident. So I don't think there's going to be any Vegemite usage, or Prime for that matter. But this one is probably, I could see Reed winning. However, I want to say if Rhea goes over, I think Reed is losing. And I think if Rhea loses, I think Reed is going to win. I depending on which one of those matches comes first, I think that's going to be very telling. I think one of the hometown people is going, or not hometown, but home country people is going to get that. However, I am third in the predictions league, so I am not going to be messing around and betting against Roman Reigns at this time. I believe it should be Bronson Reed winning this match. So it wouldn't shock me. I don't take anything away from you guys that did pick Bronson Reed, especially since we didn't get any Braun Breaker on Raw. And where is he? Is he going to fly all the way to Australia to do a run-in and help? I think that you're probably going to see the Usos there. You're going to see Bronson, Braun Breaker. I don't think Seth is going to get involved with that because he's got his own battle to fight later. Overall, I think that it's going to be Roman Reigns. You just can't bet against him. But then I also felt the same thing about Cena, and then he came out and we got a bunch of crying people every time Brock Lesnar gets in the ring with him. But I'm going to bet that Roman is going to win this match, despite I think that the storyline is better. Like you said, this guy and Dave, that I think Bronson winning is better for the storyline and for the feud. Like, how many times can he keep losing and still be taken seriously as a threat? I mean, obviously he's a massive person, so you're going to feel he's a threat. But I just feel, like you said, Aaron, whether it's sensible or not, you can't really bet against Roman Reigns at this time. He's coming back. Every single time he comes back from a hiatus, he gets a win. So, but we remember that he won his last match against Bronson. But even though he got stretchered out, he still won that match. So we think that would make sense if he lost. But I think that they're going to book him to win so he can continue looking strong going forward. Like you said, I hate to use this nomenclature, but the final boss in Seth Rollins there.
All right. Thank you for that, Gino. We got 2 matches left. First up, we have the women's champion versus the WWE women's champion, whatever. It's the champion versus champion match for the Crown Jewel title and the ring, which everybody will forget about in a week after the show is over. It'll just be back to the next show, Survivor Series, and then Saturday night's main event. We got 2 Saturday night's main events coming up. So yeah, we're just going to move on to the next show, and we'll never hear about this Crown Jewel title again until next year's show. So because of that, it's hard to really care about the match. I'm not the biggest fan of these champion versus champion matches because it does make one of the champions look secondary and inferior to the actual champion. So Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat Shout out to Building Nexus, says, no way Reed wins clean, though. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. If Bronson Reed wins, it's going to be interference up the yin-yang. You're going to have Braun Breaker out there and Seth Rollins and so on and so forth. Gino?
It may not be clean, but will it be fair?
It will definitely not be fair.
That's a little throwback to our long-term viewers here on the NoDQ channel.
That was quite the episode of the NoDQ review.
That was for virtue.
That was for virtue. This guy threw in $2. Thanks. This guy says the match card promos for events need to be on T-shirts. They do sometimes. I don't think they've done it in a while, though. Yeah, there you go. There's a battleground. I mean, that's more like a poster. But he's talking about like the actual match graphics. Yeah, I agree. They should have them for the shows. I agree with you, this guy. But this guy, I'll go to you first on this. What are your thoughts on this women's match? Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton, champion versus champion.
Well, I'm gonna keep it short. Last time I was on the prediction and Vaquer had a match, I said she won. I'm not a fan of hers whatsoever, and that still goes to say that's this. I try to make it short. That stays the same here. She's gonna win. I fell off of liking Tiffany a while ago, even though I still like her more than Vaquer. But yeah, Vaquer is a new hot toy. She's gonna win this. So was that? Sorry, Noah.
All right, thank you for that. This guy, Oofman, we'll go to you next. What are your thoughts?
Well, kind of going off of what Ian posted in the chat, they have been mentioning, the commentators lately, a lot that Tiffany has been undefeated this year, but I think, like this guy said, Stephanie is the hot commodity now. Tiffy time is winding down. We mentioned Bianca earlier. I think Bianca needs to hurry up with whatever's going on with her. Her hand, her finger, whatever it is. Hopefully she did. Word was she didn't want to get surgery done. She wanted to just let it heal on its own. So who knows what's going on. The SmackDown women's roster needs something. They need a spark. They need a pizzazz. I don't know. But I think Bianca comes back eventually to end Tiffy time. So yeah, Stephanie is red hot right now. But like you said, Aaron, it's like, who cares? They're going to get their belt with the 50 billion kajillion diamonds on it, and then their ring, whatever. And yeah, we're going to forget about it the second they're back, probably on Raw on Monday. Like, oh yeah, they won. Moving on. So yeah, it should be a pretty good match. But yes, I think Stephanie takes it. It'll be a good match. I don't see any interference from anybody. No one's coming out on the outside or anything like that. So it'll just be one-on-one, no shenanigans. But Stephanie gets the win.
All right, Gino, we'll go to you next. Do you agree? We're 2 for Stephanie.
So this match, I know some of us might not be big fans of the champion versus champion thing, but it does have a story, right? Tiffany, a few years back, essentially had this meteoric rise akin to what Stephanie's got going on right now. Tiffany's undefeated all year. Stephanie is still like within the calendar year of her joining the company, and she's the champion now. She was the first ever women's double champion NXT. There's a lot to believe in for both of these women. For me personally, Tiffany Stratton's title run has been stale, and Stephanie is the new champion recently. You know, what you want to call it, new hotness or whatever. She seems like she's arguably better in the ring and more over with the crowd now. I really do think that Tiffany's issues with Charlotte have hurt her long term. I know she's still winning championship matches and still undefeated, but they didn't want to give that win to somebody else. They're saving it for Stephanie, and I think this is the beginning of the end for Tiffy Time's title reign. I think she's just gotten a little stale. She's kind of one note. The cadence of the way she speaks is it's kind of bothersome. I'm just going to say it. And I know Stephanie is, working on her English, trying to get her promos out and stuff like that, but everybody wants to see Stephanie Vaquer. People are talking about Stephanie versus Rhea as a potential WrestleMania like type of match. Nobody's really talking about what Tiffy's future holds. Sometimes WWE gives the titles to people who don't really have storyline plans, which I've talked about in the past. It's frustrating, but I'm not going to go mean Gino. What I will say is I think this is going to be a very fun match to watch and look at, and I think Stephanie is going to win the match.
All right, there you go. 3 for Stephanie. Now we'll throw it over to Matthew. Matthew, 3 for Stephanie. Are you going 4 for Stephanie?
What time is it? It's not Tiffy time. It's La Primera time. And like Mean Gino said, I love Tiffany, but she's gotten stale. I think she needs this loss for a couple reasons. One, they can start building doubt in her. Maybe she needs to go back heel. Maybe that's one thing. But the other thing is, the SmackDown's women roster needs a complete overhaul. We need to get Mishin and Nia Jax out of matches because that's all we see. And they need call-ups from NXT that are ready, Fallon Henry and JC Jane, or they need a draft. But they need to do something. But Stephanie's on fire right now, and I think this is also her first title defense. You would not want to see her lose.
Or not technically a title defense.
Well, yeah, technically not. But, this is her first match as champion. And after the stellar match she had with Io, you don't want to see her lose this first match. And, the crowd's going to go nuts when she hits the devil kiss on Tiffany. Booker T, wherever he's watching, is going to have a heart attack somewhere. But no, this is Stephanie's night. This is Stephanie's year. I don't think we've had a rookie this dominant since Kurt Angle. And
Brock Lesnar.
Well, Brock, too. But I mean, Stephanie is just she is everything that I think WWE needs in someone that can carry this company besides Rhea, Io, and Bianca. And Stephanie's that person, and this is going to be her first big match. It's also going to be a nice match because it's getting Tiffany away from Nia, away from Jade, because I don't know what we've had with those last couple of matches, but there's clearly something hasn't worked. And so it would be nice to give her something different. But Stephanie wins, and like I said, hopefully this maybe leads to, now that Tiffany has lost the match, maybe this starts putting doubt in her mind, or maybe put some sort of new focus on her that, I can lose. Maybe it's not Tiffy time, but hopefully it leads to something better for both in the right ways.
All right. Thank you for that, Matthew. And now we'll throw it over to Dave for Stephanie. Is it 5 for Stephanie?
Well, it could be. I'm kind of piggyback a little bit off of Matthew as I get through this, because I think if you compare some things, Tiffany has that winning streak. Like Gino said, they mirror each other their first full year up. Tiffany needs a big win over somebody credible, because she's been facing Nia and Jade and, botch all over the place, as you guys would put it. But like Matthew said, I think she really has lost steam. And to my opinion, and I think this has been mentioned before on the streams, Tiffany's promos come off more heelish. I think she's a better heel. I really think this is going to lead to that, just like Matthew said. And I'm not making the same mistake I made at WrestlePalooza, and I didn't pick Stephanie. I should have, and this time I'm definitely picking Stephanie to win.
All right, there you have it. And I agree. I'm going with Stephanie as well. I thought this was going to actually be split. I figured this would be one of the harder matches to predict, but no, we all went with Stephanie. There you have it. 6 for Stephanie. And now we move on to the other champion versus champion match. We got Seth freaking Rollins, who is 0-3 against Cody in big matches. Cody Rhodes, WWE champion. Seth Rollins, world heavyweight champion. Seth Rollins has been very upset because he hasn't been able to defeat Cody. He even told Paul Heyman he needs to win this match. And Heyman even said that if Cody wins, Heyman might have to question if he made the right call to pick Seth Rollins over Roman Reigns. So very interesting build up for this one. Matthew, we'll go to you first on this. What are your thoughts on this champion versus champion match?
Well, if my predictions hold, this is kind of interesting because technically Raw is going to win every match this pay-per-view because I think Seth needs this win. You can't have this dominant force and then him losing to Cody. Yes, he's lost to Cody before, but Seth needs this win, and Cody needs the loss, really. And it's one that he can afford. And maybe, much like Stephanie and Tiffany, maybe this teases, something different in Cody because the super babyface Cody is getting stale. He keeps saying, oh, he's going to turn heel. Oh, he might turn heel, but it's what the fans want. I think the fans would be fine with him turning heel, and it would add something different. Plus, if it was heel Cody versus babyface Punk, if that ends up being the Mania match, I think people would enjoy that because I don't see Punk turning heel anytime soon, especially if we are getting Roman Seth. But yeah, I think Seth needs this win. Plus, there is the tease that, Heyman could turn on Seth, but I think that's too early.
Way too early.
But it's going to happen eventually, especially the way Heyman has looked at Braun and, of course, now looked at Brock. I don't know if this is eventually going to lead to Brock versus Braun Breaker or what, but it's too early for them to turn now. But I think they do need to keep teasing it, but Seth needs the win.
All right, there you go. Seth needs the win, and I'm tending to agree with you. I don't think they're gonna have the Vision split up anytime soon, and I really do think the Vision needs to look strong going into Survivor Series. So yeah, I think Seth Rollins will somehow pull off the victory. Now, an interesting question from Building Nexus: what are the chances that Paul Heyman gets Brock Lesnar for Rollins? It's possible, but because it's in Australia and Brock Lesnar is hard to hide from the public, I feel like they're not going to do that. They didn't bring him into Paris. They did have him for WrestlePalooza. And I really don't think we're seeing Brock for the rest of the year. I think he'll be back in January for the Royal Rumble build. So probably not, but can't rule it out. That could be Paul Heyman's last resort. We'll see if anybody else thinks Brock's going to show up. Dave, what do you think? Do you think we see Brock? I guess that could be the bonus point. We were talking about bonus points. How about we do that? Bonus point. Does Brock Lesnar show up? I'm going to say no. Matthew, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs down. Okay, Dave, go ahead.
Well, Aaron, I think you're right. I don't think Brock's a real part-timer. I don't think he's shown up to the beginning of the year, maybe the Royal Rumble. Cody pretty much embarrassed him for those first three matches, especially with the torn pec. And this has way much more of a story than the women's. This might be for the nothing championship, but there's a major story still here between those wins, Seth being his shield at WrestleMania 40. They've had a long time story here. And I think not only Seth's going to get the win, I don't think Brock's going to show up, like I said, but I think somebody's going to be showing up, whether it's Braun or we keep waiting to see if there's going to be a real fourth member of this group. Somewhere along the line, I think there will be, but I don't know who. People have talked about Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, but there's no way that's happening right now. Not with them both champions, and they both have stories in NXT. But who? I think something surprising is going to happen. especially if this is closing the show. I don't know if you know the how the matches are going, but if this is closing the show, one would hope there's an angle at the end.
Interesting you bring that up, because somebody claimed, I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but somebody on social media claimed that on ESPN they said that the Roman Reigns match was the main event, which would be very interesting to put that above your champion versus champion match. So we'll see if that was accurate or not. Might not be. Somebody might have said that and misspoke or whatever. But Gina, we'll go to you next. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, Cody's coming into Crown Jewel as the reigning Crown Jewel Super Bowl ring champion, 24/7, whatever you want to call it. But honestly, if I didn't know anything about wrestling and I just watched the clip from the Heyman and Rollins talking on Raw, I'd be like, there's no way you have Seth lose, because he needs that win. Cody already had his time to shine against Gunther last year, and we thought that might not have been the best decision either. I think that Cody, there's probably going to be some shenanigans, right? You've already got one member of the Vision booked for the show. You've got Braun Breaker seemingly nowhere to be found right now, so he's going to be somewhere. I think it's way more likely Braun Breaker interferes and does something with this match than a Brock Lesnar. So for me, it's the storyline going into the match is going to make it worth watching. I do like seeing the best wrestlers in the world wrestle each other. I mean, okay, and the best wrestlers in WWE. I know AEW's got some of the best wrestlers, whatever, but I like seeing the best wrestlers in the company wrestling each other. And it could theoretically go either way because there's no actual championship on the line. So even if a champion loses, they're not totally buried in defeat. But I don't think Cody needs it. People are mentioning maybe Orton comes in and accidentally costs him or does it on purpose or what have you. If Brock Lesnar does show up, I see Heyman leaving the Vision to go back to advocating for Brock Lesnar while he's maybe no longer on TV until the end of the year. Still need somebody to remind everybody that Brock Lesnar's in the company, and literally everybody should be on notice. He did make a mention of that, so you never know. So I do like that bonus point idea. At the end of the day, though, storyline-wise, and when you get to pick and choose who's winning from a company standpoint, the Seth Rollins and the Vision have been the story the WWE for the better part of the year, and I think it fizzle out. I was right. Well, if you losing the faith of your follower, the Seth riders, Heyman's going to lose faith in Seth. So I really do believe that Seth almost has to win here. So I'm going to go with Seth.
Thank you for that, mean robot Gino. I appreciate that one. Ian sent in a $2 super chat. Says, what if Obafemi joins the Vision and costs Cody Rhodes? Well, that's another interesting idea that could be a possibility. Yeah, you were kind of sounding like a robot a little bit, Gino. Like your internet was acting up. Yeah, something was going on there. Maybe it was just on my end. I don't know. But I feel like anything that's on my end is what everybody sees. But Obafemi in the Vision, that's an interesting idea. Like, because the fact is we all think, okay, Braun's going to show up, but Cody will be able to fight him off. And maybe Bronson tries to come back out there, but then Roman fights him off. So you're thinking, okay, everything's good for Cody. And then we get the new guy showing up, the new member of the Vision. I kind of like that idea of Obafemi being the new member of the Vision. This guy, what do you think?
This feels like deja vu, don't it? Let me stop. Excluding the botch from earlier. This is a predictable match. As I was saying earlier, when I screwed up, Yeah, Seth needs this match. He needs to win this match more than Cody does. Um, we need, and also like Gino said, like last year, and I think everyone else agrees, Gunther should have won that match over Cody. Cody already had the year of his life by that time. He didn't need that extra W. And on top of that, the promo from Paul Heyman basically saying like, "I'm going to kick you out of your own group if you don't win this match." It's another reason why he needs to win this match. We already have stuff like 0-3 or 0. I seen someone last week said that Seth and Cody had like 22 matches and lost all of them. I'm not sure how accurate that is. But from the matches I've seen, he lost every last one of those matches, and he just needs this one win to make his vision, pun intended, a reality. And speaking of that joke, that they need to really bring back the B team. If Seth loses this match, which he's not going to lose, and get kicked out of his own group, Brock needs to come in as the leader, and it needs to be the new B team. Brock, Braun, and Bronson, the new B team, and then go against go against the Wyatt Six and beat up the former B team member Uncle Howdy, aka Bo Dallas. But anyway, let me start with the corny jokes. Yeah, simple. It's Seth simply winning this match, and that's all we need to see to close this lame ass show.
Oh wow! And this comment here, yeah, it would be nice if the champion versus champion match had no interference. But let's be real here. There's going to be interference in this one. It's not even a maybe. It's going to happen because Rollins is going to be desperate. There's no way Rollins is beating Cody clean. It just ain't happening.
And that does remind me. Sorry, let me say this last part. Yeah. So even speaking of that, I know you said that there's no way that you can get Brock like into the country without anybody noticing that it's going to happen. And they need to get a fourth member in that that spot. Honestly, I don't know who they're gonna bring into that spot. We've had the same exact situation, and I'm tired of seeing this over and over and over again with the major heels. Their main match, main event match, everything's going well for the babyface, and then shenanigans happen, and then somebody rolls into the ring with a black hoodie on. Oh, it's me! Like I'm really getting tired of that. But it's got, since 2020, we've seen that how many times? Please tell me. But yeah, if Obafemi isn't he like a main NXT babyface, I don't think it'll be a wise decision to bring him back. I'll bring him to the main roster as Seth's heavy. So I don't know, but that's the last thing I just need to say about this match.
Yeah, it could be Randy Orton that gets involved. Dave, anything you wanted to add? I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, I think also, don't they have to start setting up if there's going to be a War Games with Seth team and either Roman or Punk, they have to start setting up something. Seth's team's going to need people, whether it's a Drew McIntyre or whether it's an Obafemi or somebody else. Obafemi, I might kind of agree with this guy. Maybe I think he's better coming up on his own, because and I think him not being in the NXT and that fight against TNA the other night was a telling story that he's going to be up soon.
Yeah.
But I think definitely they got to start building towards War Games somehow, because it's not that far away.
Right. No, fair point there. Yeah, go ahead, Gino, and then we'll get to Oof.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Dave was saying. Like, if you bring it up Oba, people are going to be excited to see him, and I just don't see him joining a heel faction. If anything, I think that he might be potential. Like he should come up on his own, or maybe he can be like a mystery teammate come War Games or something like that, or just wait till the Rumble. But people are going to want to cheer him. They're going to want to bark with him. And I don't think that you can really have two people whose whole gimmick or who the crowd's response to them is barking in the same faction. So I just don't see Oba in that.
I think it's more likely Randy Orton interferes. Maybe they do the Vince Russo swerve where you have the interference from Braun Breaker. Randy Orton comes out there. You think, oh, cool, Randy Orton's here. The odds are even. And then, bam, RKO out of nowhere to Cody. But Oofman, I'll throw it over to you now, and then we'll wrap this up. Your final thoughts on this match. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys all make great points, and after that promo, it kind of feels like Seth has to win. He sounds so desperate, and as far as the extra point goes, it's like as much as I agree with you, Aaron, I know we all know Brock hates to travel, and it's like what is it, 23 hours from the States
Oh yeah,
to
yeah, that's
Australia or
something to
something?
take into consideration.
That's a consideration there. So like I want to say yes, Lesnar would show up because of his relationship with Heyman. I think Heyman noticed how desperate Seth is that he would call a favor on his little friend. Well, not little, but his friend Lesnar. And here comes Lesnar and just wrecks Cody, and he gets the win, which would lead to like Dave said, to start the build for War Games. Will we see a Brock Lesnar in a War Games match? I don't know. Like I said, like Dave said, we got to start the build up for that. But I'm gonna go with Seth wins. There will be shenanigans, and as much as I would, for the first time, probably I'm never gonna say it, that I would like to see Lesnar show up. I think I'm gonna go with your idea, Aaron, where the odds are stacked against Cody. He's getting beat down, and we hear voices, and here comes Randy. He does take everybody out, but he literally takes everybody out. He takes all the Vision out, and then there's Cody, like either thanking him. I doubt we'll see the hug and then RKO, but Orton will do his job, and then probably Cody's get like all like flabbergasted, like, oh, okay, everyone's taken care of, and then there it is, boom, the RKO, and Seth wins it. I don't think it means Seth and Orton are together. Absolutely not. I just think Orton just goes finally heel on Cody, and Seth does get that elusive win over Cody. And like somebody mentioned, I think, yeah. Oh, this guy mentioned it. Well, Seth is 0-3 against Cody, but if you also think about it, the Shield lost to the Rhodes brothers as well, so that's another loss. So yeah, so history has shown that Seth has been losing to Cody a lot.
Yeah.
And then besides these 3 single matches that they had when Cody returned to the company. But yeah, he's due for his finally a win. And again, as far as extra point, as much again, it would make sense for Lesnar to be here. I'm going to go with actually Randy Orton costing Cody the match.
All right, there you have it. Psycho Jet Black decided to bring his no DQ review shenanigans over here. I thought he mentioned this on the stream too. He said, imagine The Rock playing Rift Aronson. No, I do not want to imagine that. Not in the slightest. So thank you for the super chat. You can F all the way off, Psycho Jet. Love you, man, but don't bring up that name again. All right, let's go ahead and do our final thoughts or plugs or whatever. This guy, we'll go over to you first.
Sure. As usual, do you still have the graphic, Aaron?
I think maybe. See, the problem is, well, here it is. I'll tell you in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So my wife, who commented earlier, Heather's Crochet Corner. It's starting to ramp up season now because we're getting back to the cold season. She has some hats pre-made. She needs to start making blankets though, which I kept telling her like, yo, it's anyway. But yes, just follow her on Instagram, Facebook. She does plushies as well. She made Mew from Pokemon for this past summer for her best friend's niece, or is it nephew? Whatever. But yeah, she does plushies, blankets, hats, socks, and hair bows. If you need one, I don't that one is like kind of she has those stockpile because no one really uses hair bows like that anymore. But yeah. Anyway, other than that, thanks for having me on as always, Aaron. I hope to do this soon, even if I can't watch the pay-per-views. I'll still try to do the VPN, and I'll let you guys know either on Monday or Tuesday if it works or not.
All right, thank you for that. Dave, any final thoughts or plugs?
Well, again, I'm plugging NoDQ all the way as I always do. I thank you again, Aaron, for having me. It was great meeting Gino and Oofman, and also seeing my buddy Matthew and this guy Experience again for our second predictions together. I'd be happy to join you anytime for predictions. I'm always up to talk wrestling, and I'm glad I found a group I can talk wrestling with, because my girlfriend and my other part of my friends don't talk wrestling. So I'm glad to have a No DQ family with me now too. And just want to say I appreciate you guys.
Rock on, man. Thank you for that, Dave. We love having you on. Matthew, I'm guessing you don't have any plug other than the No DQ group, so go ahead.
Yeah, you know me, buy the shirt, check out the merch, check out the forums. I have a good time, have a few laughs, but I'm always grateful to be part of the group, to have my fellow Florida brothers, Gino and Dave. Of course, Dwayne couldn't be here this time. We couldn't have the now quad Florida brothers, but hopefully next time, it's going to be interesting having a breakfast with Aaron for the next 3 shows, 8 o'clock SmackDown, 8 o'clock pay-per-view, and then 8 o'clock Raw. So it's going to be an interesting couple of mornings, but it should be a fun show. And, most likely I'll be back for when we do predictions for Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Dream.
Which is what, next week, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And then, of course, are you going to be doing...
Yeah.
Are you going to do a review for Bound for Glory? I know we're not doing a prediction, but yeah, I know we got Bound for Glory this weekend as well. So we got plenty of wrestling this week, but it's always a good time.
All right. Thank you very much, Matthew. Much appreciated. Mean Gino, will go to you next.
Thank you very much. Dave, you touched on it. I just want to say thank you to everybody in No DQ. If you guys want to come check me out, I just hit 800 subscribers on my channel, Papagino0017, on the YouTubes, playing Rocket League, talking wrestling. I have my podcast episode up talking about WWE's odd booking of their current champions. I think it's a pretty good listen if I do say so myself. But I just wanted to thank everybody in the chat for stopping by, whether you're watching live or on demand. I know we all really appreciate it. You guys really bring a lot more to this panel than we have just by ourselves. You give us topics to talk about, and it's much appreciated. And this community, like you said, Dave, from Uthman, this guy, Matthew, Aaron, it's just good to have people that, we can talk wrestling with, whether we agree or disagree. We all want wrestling to be great, and no matter what product we're watching, and we really just want to have a good time spending our time watching wrestling. So thank you so much, and I will catch you guys on the next one. To Aaron.
All right. Thank you, Gino. And last but not least, Oof, we'll go ahead and wrap it up with you with your final thoughts and plug.
Yeah, well, again, thank you, gentlemen, so much for having me on. Dave, it was an honor to meet you. And when you get time, check out my channel, my series, Gabbing with Oof. I had fun doing the top 10 Michael Jackson videos. I think we're going to start doing some more top 10 lists or top 5 lists coming soon. And I just got great feedback from that. And as far as my final thoughts on this show, and again, don't mean to extend the review, but you gentlemen can jump in. Just jumping on what happened after WrestlePalooza, when it felt like the world attacked that ESPN writer for giving his honest C grade for the pay-per-view. I hope that he does continue being honest. And one of the guys from ESPN said that this writer is going to have basically like 100% freedom to tell his honest truth of what he feels about the show. He mentioned like it's going to be a church and state thing where it's going to be separated. Like obviously ESPN is airing the pay-per-views. Should an ESPN writer be biased toward WWE shows? No, he shouldn't. And so I think that C grade from WrestlePalooza was honest, was fair. His description was what the show was. So with let's call it round 2 with Crown Jewel now, the second show on ESPN, I hope this writer sticks to his guns, that he gives us an honest opinion of what he believes. And I hope people don't attack him, don't think like he's a jerk or anything, but because if he's giving his honest review, and let's just say, argument's sake, on Sunday he posts that, Crown Jewel was a C-, maybe that's a sign for Papa H and everybody in creative that like, okay, the guys that are the company that's paying us has a review guy that's free to give his honest opinion, and back-to-back C shows, hopefully that lights a fire on them to hopefully do better. And I actually do believe Crown Jewel will be better than WrestlePalooza, but again, you never know. But I hope this guy, I forgot his name, but whoever he is, he gave that honest review of WrestlePalooza. I hope he does it again with Crown Jewel, and I hope the IWC doesn't go after him. I hope the IWC actually supports him. Like, this is an ESPN writer giving his fair judgment, unbiased judgment, and he gave another quote unquote bad or even grade. That's like my people would say, that's no bueno for WWE, but hopefully that'll fire them up, because we got Survivor Series coming up. That's one of the former big, I don't know if it's a big four anymore, but it's one of the big shows. So WrestlePalooza is gone. It's in our rearview mirror. Now here comes their second show on ESPN. And if people are paying $30 for this, UPN, if you don't have to, but if you're paying $30 for this can backfire. And again, if this guy is giving his honest opinion, I just hope he keeps doing it. For argument's sake, I just hope he is real. He keeps it church and state separated and tells us his honest opinion. And boo-hoo Triple H with, I hope people would just watch the show and shut the F up. No, man, this is coming from the guys that are feeding you. And if you get another average grade, ugh. So that's just my final 2 cents on ESPN and WWE's relationship.
All right. Thank you for that, Uthman. Much appreciated. NoDQ.com will have live coverage Saturday morning. Get that merch over at NoDQ.com/merch. QR code upper right-hand corner is the VPN page where you can watch SmackDown Friday morning on Netflix if you have a VPN, which I plan to do. Stay tuned for all the coverage. Say yes to NoDQ.com. Thanks to the panel for everything, and we will see you guys next time.